In order to construct the basic snare, the first thing that we require is snare wire. For a 4-strand snare, a double arm span. For a 2-strand snare, a single arm span. Once we have the desired length of wire, in this instance for a 4-strand snare, we join the ends together by twisting as you would join, say, speaker cables or when tidying wires to wire a plug. This join is then twisted back on itself into the loop to mitigate any snags. As you can see here. To create 4 strands, keeping hold of the join, which we will now call the dirty end, twist to form a figure of 8. We then close these loops together to create one double strand continuous loop. In total, 4 strands. Now, to transform this wire loop into a working snare. For this, you can simply twist between your fingers. I prefer to use 2 sticks, one approximately 6 to 8 mm in diameter and the other approximately 10 to 14 mm in diameter. The method I prefer is to put the sticks into each end, ensuring that the dirty end has the smaller stick. We then twist the sticks in opposing directions, which will then ensure that the snare wire is twisted together, making it as strong as physically possible. One method that can be employed is to hold one stick between the knees and twist on the other end. I've sped this up because it can take some time. As you can see, we have a nice tight twist in the wire. Now to remove the sticks. Simply remove the sticks and you have a nice clean loop. Sometimes it is too tight and you may need to back the twists off 1 or 2 to enable you to remove the sticks. Now the clean end is the bigger end, dirty end the smaller end. This is the bit that is illegal in the UK. This creates a locking snare. We pinch the bottom of the loop with one hand, the top of the loop with the other, and again form a figure of 8. What happens then is we bend the top loop down over the bottom loop to create again one single loop. Just to reiterate, this is in the clean, bigger end. We then take the dirty end, squeeze that slightly to create a slightly oval shape to enable that to fit through the loop on the clean end. Dirty end goes through the clean end, creating a sliding snare. We then need to attach cordage to the snare to enable it to be staked. I simply pass a bight of cordage through the dirty end and then pass the rest of the cordage through this bight. We can then lock this off using a series of half hitches. Next, we need a stake for the snare, at least a foot long, to gain maximum purchase into the ground. Let's face it, the animal is going to be fighting for its life. Finding a place to set your snare can be quite tricky. Using ground sign awareness, we can spot areas where animals have been trafficking. Although this looks like a rabbit hole, it's in fact a game trail. A tunnel leading through the undergrowth where rabbits have been frequenting. We can now hammer our peg into the ground. This just set to the side of the game trail will enable us to attach our snare and position it in the correct place. The snare can then be secured to the peg. The knot I've used is a round turn and 2 half hitches. To ensure that our snare is in the correct position, we use a teeler, sharpened at one end and split slightly at the other. The snare is nestled into the split. We can then ensure that the position is correct for the animal that we wish to catch. In this instance, a rabbit. A fist in diameter for the snare and approximately 4 fingers to a fist from the ground. Now that your snare is in the correct position, we need to ensure that your quarry does not evade your trap. Using the foliage and leaf litter in the area of the trap, we funnel the animal into the trap area. At this point my camera died, but the funnel was built up to ensure capture. I'd just like to take this opportunity to remind you that locking snares are illegal in the UK. In a non-survival situation, omit the locking mechanism from the snare to create a free-running trap. This is legal for use in the UK, with the landowner's permission.